Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Being Chisholm. Okay, so I ran a poll on Twitter, Snapchat, everything I could, obviously not Instagram, and I asked people what do they want to see in the next video. I am working on a back to school welcome week vlog, but until that's done I don't want to leave anybody hanging, so I still want to give advice to all my college students out there. So in order to do that, I decided to do a top 10 tips on how to get a 4.0 GPA. I recently got a 4.0 GPA, made the dean's list, and I have very, very good grades and scholarships. So if I can share all of that advice with you all, why wouldn't I? So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, number one, organize your classes efficiently. A lot of people decide that they're going to take major classes and just get them all done as soon as they can, or take all of their hard classes, put it in one semester, and just get it done as fast as possible. But honestly, that's not realistic. What you want to do is organize your classes so that you know your harder classes will be balanced out with easier classes. For example, if I take 3 major classes at a senior level, I want to probably take 2 minor classes at a 100 level, or take a gen ed class or anything like that that is going to alleviate stress from me, basically. I want to make my harder classes something that I give a lot of attention to, and in order to do that, I want to back them up by classes that are not as hard. This is how I learned to organize my schedule while I'm here at ISU, and I feel like it'll help a lot of you as well. Number 2, one of my favorite tips: use a planner. Planners are going to help you so much. In planners, a lot of people write several things. They write down what they're going to be doing every single day of the week, starting from what time they're eating breakfast to what time they're going to sleep. But for me personally, I use my planner only for my homework or for a test coming up. So what you want to do is get a planner, write every single due date for an assignment each week. Go week by week and say, okay, I have an assignment due on Thursday. I have an assignment due on Friday. When you have a planner, it'll help you determine which assignment you need to get done sooner, because you'll see in front of your face what assignment is going to be due first, rather than just flipping through a bunch of syllabus every single week from different classes. You'll have everything on one page. It'll be way easier to organize yourself and prioritize things. Number 3, build relationships with your professors. I have personally had professors that said, I'm not going to change grades or take the highest, round up grades and things like that. But because they knew me, they rounded up my grade. Because I was in class, I was active, I paid attention, I tried my hardest, and I had relationships with those teachers, whether that be with seeing them on the quad and saying hi and just being friendly, walking up to them the first or second day, making sure they know my name and shaking hands with them and just thanking them for teaching my class. Yeah, you might be seen as a kiss up to others, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get the grade. So build relationships with your professors. Number 4, be prepared for class. What you can do before just raising your hand every single second of the day when you're in a class and asking 50 questions, you can surprise the teacher. You can say, oh, I know the topic is free speech this week, and I was looking on YouTube and I saw this video and they defined it as blah, 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 blah. How do you define it? Teachers want to see that students are actively engaged in their class. If you have to, pick up your book for your class, scroll through, just see what the topic is for that week. As long as you know the topic, you've already done something most likely 50% of the class has not done, and you've at least taken interest in what you're going to be talking about that week. It may not be the most exciting thing, but the fact that you even put in a little effort, it's going to surprise the teacher and show them, wow, this student wants to learn. Let me really teach them the best way I can. Number 5, you can be smart and social. A lot of people get so stressed out throughout the year. They say, you know what, I have to get a 4.0 GPA. I'm not going out. I'm not gonna go hang out with my friends. I'm gonna lock myself in either the library cubicle or my room, and I'm not gonna do anything but homework and studying all year. Which is great, but it's also something you don't need to do. I am a testimony that you can have a social life and get good grades. I personally have found ways to tell myself, if I want to go out, I have to get something done first. And you can do that too. When you just do homework all the time, you're going to stress yourself out because the only thing that's going to be on your mind is work, 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 work. So you have to give yourself a little bit of a, what do I say? Stress reliever. So learn to go out, learn to still have fun, but you have to be able to prioritize things. Don't lose your social life over school. Your schooling and education, everything, that's so important. But so are your friendships and the relationships you'll build while you're in school. Number 6, reward your finished work. It makes no sense for you to complete an assignment and then just be depressed all day and say, okay, what's next on my syllabus? What do I have to get done now? No, take the time to reward yourself for doing something great, for finishing something. This is another way to relieve stress because you come to determine, wow, I'm a great student, but I also can do all these other things and still get good grades. So reward yourself by either, let's say you finish an assignment on a Friday night at 9 o'clock and your friends say, do you want to go out with us tonight? Go out if you want to. Have a good time. It's nothing wrong with having a social life. It's the biggest thing I want you all to take away with this. You can balance all of these different categories of your life at the same time while you're getting good grades. You just have to take these tips and organize them, adjust to what you need to, and understand that your track will never be the same as someone else's track, and you have to get your work done before you do anything else. Okay, number 7, go to class. A lot of people think that you can get a 4.0 GPA and still sit at home and avoid going to class. I'm sorry, it's not possible. Some people have tried it, but it's still not possible. You may be able to get a good grade, but you won't get the best grade. In order to get a 4.0 GPA, you have to be active in class. Just because you're in college does not mean participation points go uncalled for. They actually weigh a huge part in your grade sometimes, and that also includes attendance. So you can participate and get points just for being actually in class. A lot of people may say, Ashley, how many classes can I miss before I should expect my grade to start declining? Well, I've only missed, I want to say, about 3 classes since I've been in college, and that's because most likely I might have forgotten about a class and overslept, or I was sick on my deathbed. There has not been a time where I haven't just made myself go to class, maybe walk out if I have to for like 2 minutes and go right back in. You have to go to class. In high school, if you miss a day of work, you can make all of that up in one day. But in college, if you miss a day of work, you're basically making all of that up in 1 week. College moves like this. Everything moves like this. So you have to realize whenever you miss a class, not only are you wasting your tuition money, but you're also setting yourself behind. So not only are you catching up on material that you all learned when you were gone in that absence, but also the material from that next day. Everything is fast-paced in college, so you have to understand missing class is a huge no-no. If you have to, I would say miss about 1 class, if you have to. But if you can, be in class every single time. Even if class is optional, just email the teacher and say, hey, are you sure this is optional? I just want to make sure I won't miss anything at all. Yes, again, you'll be a suck-up, but you'll be happy in the end. It'll all pay off. Number 8, take advantage of extra credit. A lot of people hear about extra credit and they hear all the work you have to do in order to get it. You have to sit through a speaker, you have to write a 2 or 3 page essay, all of this stuff. But extra credit really does weigh a lot in your grade in the end. Extra credit is basically like making up for a missed assignment. So imagine 30 points from an assignment that you didn't do too well on or something like that. You can make that up with extra credit. Take advantage of extra credit no matter how hard it is. At least see if it's something that you can actually do. Extra credit, most of the time, you'll get points just for doing it. Even if it's not the best in the class, like you have to write an essay, even if it's not the best essay in the class, you might, out of 10 points, get at least 5 extra credit points for just putting your name on a paper and writing a couple meaningless sentences. I'm not saying you should not do your best on every assignment, but what I am saying is take advantage of extra credit because it really does go a long way, especially in college because it's not offered as much as it is in high school, middle school, elementary school, and so on. Number 9, you need to get the highest A you can from the class. Every single week of school, through the school year, let's say on a Friday or something like that, or a Monday, I check what my grades are in each class. I see what the next assignment is coming up, how much it's weighted. I try to calculate my grades to see what I need out of each class. Here in college, a 90% is equal to 100%. Although both are A's, one is a low A and one is a high A. They are both seen the same here when you see all of your transcripts. Everything is just going to say A. In middle school, high school, and things like that, we're used to seeing, oh, I got an 85%, I got an 88%. But in college, a 90 is the same as 100. So what does that mean? You need to try to get your grade up to 100% or as close as possible throughout the school year. So when things like finals come around, let's say something happens, you just don't do as well on a final as you could. I myself am not the best test taker in the world. Then you've already set yourself up pretty high. So if you bomb whatever it is, like the final or something like that, and don't do as well as you think you could, well, you may just get that 90% just because you applied yourself throughout the semester, and then at the end, you had already set a bar. So you can only fall so far down once you have that top grade. So the best thing you can do is to make sure you keep track of your grades often throughout the semester. Check them one by one every single week. Write down, I have 88 in this class, I have a 99 in this class, I have an 80% in this class. Oops, I need to work on that 80. I need to get that 80 up to a 90 as fast as possible before finals or midterms or whatever rolls around. This is what I have personally learned to do, and it helps me kind of keep a mental note of what classes I need to be trying even harder in to pay attention, or what material I need to go over and everything like that. So when I get my grades really, really high at the end of the semester, I'm like, okay, finals don't stress me out, because most likely my grade isn't just riding on a borderline grade. I've already set myself up really, really high to achieve something. And number 10, last but not least, understand the library is not for everyone. A lot of people think that going to the library and staying there for like 5 hours means that you've actually done something. Wrong. What it actually means is you were just in the library for 5 hours. It means nothing more or nothing less. You can be in the library for 5 hours and have only done some work for like 30 minutes. So what does that mean in the end? You just wasted your time. Not everyone can have a successful college career in the library, and that's just it. Some of us don't do well working around others. I myself have noticed that during finals week, I have to stay in my own house. I have to lock myself in my room. I have to put away all of my technology. I can't focus on that because I'm not good with technology. I'll get on my phone every 2 seconds. I'll check Twitter even though most likely nothing's going on. I'll check Snapchat, see who's Snapchatting me and stuff like that. I'll even text a relative if I have to, in order just to get out of my work. So what you all need to do is to make sure that if you focus well by yourself, then don't be afraid to go do things by yourself. Some of us aren't cut out for study groups at the library, and that's just that, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that. So determine if you're one of those people. For those of you that are good at going to the library, understand that you cannot always be on the loudest floor of the library. Here at our school, we have a 3rd floor. It's usually used for group projects at the library, and everybody talks freely. You can wheel around. It's usually jam-packed during finals week. But I can't focus in an area like that. So if you're one of those people, go to a quiet floor. You might be a little nervous because it's really, really quiet, but put some headphones on, turn that music on, and start studying. Because not everyone can work in the same atmosphere. Like I said before, we're all on different tracks. We have different characteristics, different things about us that are going to separate us. So for some of you, this may be great advice. For others, this advice might not work at all. Like I said, we're all different. So understand what you need to do in order to get the 4.0 GPA. If I haven't even mentioned anything in this video, make sure that you actually go and research other tools that may help you study better. So those were my top 10 tips on how to get a 4.0 GPA. I can do a part 2 if you guys want, but you really just gotta let me know. Another tip that really wasn't in the top 10 tips is a personal tip of mine. Some people may love this, some people may hate this, but I strongly, strongly, strongly believe in the power of prayer. If you want to get something done, you have to have faith. Whatever your belief is, if you have a belief or anything like that, hold on to that. That is really going to help you throughout your college career. So I myself, if I have to pray before I study, I do that. I don't pray right before the test all the time, because if I haven't studied, I can't ask God to give me all the answers, because I didn't even put in the work to get the answers. So I pray before I study. I pray before I go to sleep. I say, help me be attentive in class. Help me be attentive when I do my work. Help my phone not to go off while I'm studying. Anything like that. Just say a simple prayer, a quick prayer like that, and it usually gets me through an entire semester. So if you guys want any more tips, like I said, please let me know so I can do a part 2. I will have the welcome week vlog out to you guys very, 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 very soon. Hopefully this Sunday. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you all enjoyed being Chisholm. See you next time.